Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and show off my one dot shot Harlow build that with the Stellium and the Field Scientist can produce some crazy numbers, and with the skill tree I'm using currently I think it's probably one of the best builds going for her. So yeah, let's get into it. So starting off we will go over our skill tree. So for Stellium with Energy Disc, so the way it's going to work is going to launch her Energy Disc and it's going to go really well with High Caliber because we can with bullets pierce enemies, we can apply this stuff like twice, and we're going to be dealing double the damage. And it doesn't sound that good until you actually use it. So yeah, but I tried it out and it works, and I love it. I love it, especially the crowd control of this build. Stuff just goes down. You don't really have to worry about anything. So alongside it, I'm also using a plasma coil and a Katagawa's Revenge. You don't need these two. I just use them because they're entertaining, especially the plasma coil. I think this build's best for it. I it's not as good as Borderlands Freeze one, but yeah, it's still really fun. And then Katagawa's Revenge, I just want to use for it really, especially after they nerfed it for Harlow. I just haven't found a chance to put this in anything and enjoy it like I did. Whereas this can really cover the crowd control as well. So I suggest picking up both of these if you get the chance and trying both out with this build. Going over the rep kit, we are going to be using one with amp. That's the main thing you want. I have enrage in it for bosses. I'm using it for everything at the moment because I don't have a triple bypass with amp. But when it comes to mobbing, I would suggest getting a triple bypass. That is the main thing you want with amp. That would be perfect. But having enrage and amp for bosses is also really good to have. So keep that in mind. I am using the throwing knife. You don't need this, but with this build, we really want high crit chance when it comes to bosses, so we can apply our status effect. What's for dinner? Because whenever we have overshield, we get 25% shock damage. Siphon that's going to be giving us our overshield, and I do have some things in the skill tree that is giving us more damage while we have overshield and amp. You don't need amp. I enjoy it and it does benefit you, like just makes things go quicker, but you don't need it, especially not for mobbing. Bossing, you still really don't notice it. The only times I've seen a noticeable difference is when the encore things have been going on bosses, but even then they still die. So yeah, you want to go after, you don't need it. Our enhancement is kind of a big one, mainly because of prime potency. So guns with Malawan's licensed parts have a 100% status effect chance on the first bullet after reload. So whenever we're reloading, we're going to be guaranteed to apply the status effect. You might be wondering why I've got points already applying status effects if we can do this after reload. That's mainly because when it comes to mobbing, we don't really want to. I just kind of like spam the gun. You could take points out and switch that around so it only works on reload, but I like the idea of just spamming my weapon and only reloading when it necessarily comes to the bosses. So that's the way I enjoy playing it, so that's why the points are where they are. Okay, starting off with Red Tree, we're using Fuzzy Math with 5 out of 5 for the extra status effect chance by 50%, so that's always nice to have. Elementary, Harlow gains increased elemental damage and status effect damage, both from by 20%. That's a no-brainer in my eyes, you just want to take that, more damage on both really. Enriched, Harlow gains increased radiation damage by 7%. It's minor, yeah, but we want to deal as much radiation damage as we can through our shock dot, so I take it where I can. And Great Red Dot. Harlow gains increased status effect duration by 36%. Also, not a very long thing, but you still want to take it just because enemies that could survive, it's very unlikely that they're going to, because we're getting that extra duration. Okay, so going over to Green Tree where most of our points are, we're using action at a distance, 5 out of 5, also with our class mod that's going to give us a 100% status effect chance whenever we apply a status effect to an enemy. Meaning we can just be dealing higher damage to all these enemies and guaranteeing that these status effects are going to be applied to them. We're also using Neutron Decay, so whenever Harlow irradiates an enemy, she gains increased gun damage. This affects stacks. 10% per stack, and there's 5 stacks, that's 50% damage, but we're going to have up 99% of the time, I would say even 100% of the time, just because with this build I'm near enough guaranteeing that every enemy is going to be have status effects and be entangled at the same time. So why not? Why not go 5 out of 5? I've only got 1 point into conformative reality. That is because I'm using now of caffeine that's going to give me my action skill like cooldown by 25% per, I think it's 25%, let me check. Yeah, so you get action skill cooldown reduction 25% per rep kit use. It's best with triple bypass. I'm after one, but at the moment it still works fine. But with triple bypass, you'll have your action skill up like way more, entangling way more. Everything will just be a lot quicker. So yeah, that's why I've only got 1 point in there though. Decoherence. Decoherence I would use in most Harlowe builds. I wouldn't suggest going without it, just because whenever you're entangling enemies that we are, you're guaranteeing yourself 25% extra damage on that enemy, no matter what, as long as they're entangled. Refraction. Harlowe and her allies gain ricochet chance against entangled enemies. Critical hits double this chance, so ricochets have reduced damage, that's fine, we're not really worried about that. But the ricochet chance against entangled enemies. Well, that's where we go into Blue Tree, and we are using Strange Attractor, because whenever Harlowe shoots an enemy with a gun, bullets ricochet off that enemy onto all enemies in stasis. If Harlowe critically hits an enemy, that enemy becomes entangled. So we're going to be entangling all our enemies through Strange Attractor, and matching that with Refractions, giving us more ricochets through both of them, and the chances also doubled through Refraction. The final tree is obviously blue with parallel circuit, so after triggering or re-triggering our action skill, we gain increased damage by 30% for 8 seconds. But with triple bypass, that I'm really trying to go after, we'll have this 30% up a lot more of the time. And it's near enough up all the time, but I do want that higher. And periodic table flip, so Harlowe gains increased elemental damage, status effect application chance, that is a big one, and cryo effectiveness, but we aren't worried about. The elemental damage and status effect application chance are the big ones here by 24% on both, so yeah, you really want that. And ripple effect, so kill skill, whenever Harlowe kills an entangled enemy, automatically entangle another nearby enemy. But we're getting off of our class mod, so you don't need to put a point in here, but it's nice to have because we'll just be entangling more enemies. But it's the main thing we're after with this build. The more we can entangle, the more we can inflict our stats effects on, it means the higher damage we will be dealing and the more enemies we'll be wiping out at a single time. The final thing I'm going to go over before this video ends is my specialization. So riddle you this, we're going to get 1% damage stack per gun damage we're dealing, up to 50, so that's 50% extra damage. Contamination, critical hits grants increased status effect application chance. We want our status effect application chance as high as it can be, so we can be dealing this damage all the time. One shot, one kill. One shot, one kill is really good. The excess damage we will be dealing will be stored and applied to our next gunshot, because our damage will be so high per target, and we will not be shooting our weapon. It's not a fast firing weapon, so this weapon with its high damage, once shot, stored, and the next shot's going to be even crazier. And now with caffeine that we've already been over, that's going to give us action skill cooldown rate per rep kit use by 25%, that I suggest everyone picks up, especially with the triple bypass that I'm still after. But yeah, make sure you use it. That will be all for the build, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed. I do apologise that this video has been a while, but yeah, I'm back, and yeah, I'm going to be pumping more out. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.